Make your spraying safer, simpler, and faster. That's what we're talking about, especially the faster, because I know that's what excites you farmers. That's what we're covering in this episode of XtremeAg's Cutting the Curve.
It's XtremeAg's Cutting the Curve podcast, cutting your learning curve and improving your farming operation every week. This episode of the Cutting the Curve podcast is powered by Nachurs Bio-K technology, delivering enhanced nutrient cycling, greater plant health, and elevated stress mitigation, leading to increased crop yields. Visit nachurs.com. And now, let's get ready to learn with your host, Damian Mason.
Hey there, welcome to another fantastic episode of XtremeAg's Cutting the Curve. We're talking about your spraying, and we're not talking about the sprayer itself. We're talking about everything that you do before it gets to the sprayer, and can we quicken that? Temple Rhodes is joining me with XtremeAg, and we're joined by Wayne Stewart with Dura Products. All of the XtremeAg guys now have a Dura Products fast batch multi-jet or fast batch Venturi. If you're watching versus listening, I'm holding up an image of what we're talking about. Essentially, it's how you fill your sprayer. And you know what? Sprayer might cost $500, $600, $700, $800 million. A lot of money tied up. How much is that machine costing you? We're going to dig into the economics. Wayne Stewart actually gave me a really cool graphic on that we're going to be putting up later in this episode, so you can go and check it out, where it actually punches out the return on investment of a piece of equipment that makes your spraying faster. We're not talking about the sprayer going faster. We're talking about the fill. Temple, you got one of these machines. You are the first one to use it. You have the Fast Batch Multi-Jet. What is it? Why do I need it? How does it make my spraying faster, safer, and simpler?
It's, well, first of all, I thought that, when I first looked at this, I was like, man, it's going to take up a lot of room on my trailer. And that was one of my concerns. But like my spray trailers now, they have two big inductors on them. And, let's just go with what we used to do. We used to have 3, 4, 5, 6 totes sometimes that are on the trailers that were mixing foliar nutrition or maybe chemistry with them or both. And we had pumps and motors hanging on the side of every one of those totes. So you can imagine how much room that takes up, right? So now we got this system where it's all in one basic. It's made so you can take it on and off the trailer with like a forklift. It's super convenient. It's not very wide. It's a little bit long, but it already has an inductor already built onto it. And then it has the ability to, all the pumps are already built right into it. So the only thing that you have to come off of this with is just, input hose that goes to each one of your totes. So you don't have stuff all over the trailer. You don't have an input hose. You don't have an output hose. You don't have any of that stuff. It direct injects each one of the chemicals or foliar nutrition or whatever you may be pumping. It's directing it directly into the line as it's going out onto the sprayer. Our mixing ability is better. We're not rinsing out our inductors in between each one of the, whatever the chemistry is or the micronutrients or whatever it might be. We're not doing any of that anymore. It's directly injected into the line. And the nicest part about it is once you get it all set up, you just punch in the amount of the gallons or the quarts or whatever it may be per acre or per tank load that you want to put in. You turn it on and it's pumping all that chemistry right directly in the line. It goes in the trailer. You're not getting splashed with chemicals. You're not handling it. You're not touching it. Like all of that stuff goes away.
All right, Wayne, you are the president of this company called Dura Products. If you're on an airplane going to their headquarters in Indiana, small town Indiana, and someone says, "What's this? What is this? What do you say this is?" It's a sprayer filler? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's just all-in-one sprayer filling system. Plug and play. All you need to do is plug in the water, plug in the chemicals, and then take the exit from it to your sprayer. It's all ready to go.
It's take this the right way. It makes things faster, it makes things simpler, it makes things safer. Why did nobody else come up with this?
Well, there's some unique things that we do at Dura that we're the only ones that do it. So we've got these auto batch meters that allow you to kind of set the chemical you want to load and press start, and it opens up a valve, pumps the pump, and then turns the pump off and shuts the valve when you are done with that. And we're the only ones that have that. So by having that, we were able to take the feedback from the farmers and kind of integrate it into a system to make it much easier and give it all one system on a skid like Temple had mentioned, pop it on the sprayer, and away you go.
Probably on your spray trailer. This unit right here, Temple, is on a self-contained unit. You take your forklift and then set it up on your tender trailer. Am I right?
Yep, mine sits in the center of my tender trailer. That's correct.
So you got tanks in the front, tanks in the back, and then various chemicals, inputs, etc., and next to this thing.
Yep. So the way that mine is set up, I actually didn't set mine up with a motor on it. It's set up so you can actually run right out of the motor and push right out of it, and it will push it right onto your sprayer. I didn't set mine up like that. I set mine up so my motor sits in the back, and I actually suck it through the whole system, and it works fantastic. We didn't know that it was going to work this well, but it works great. All you got to do is basically put your input line in there, from your tanks, and then it goes right out there, right straight onto your sprayer. You get no chemicals on yourself. How many times have we sat around an inductor, like my whole life, when we're dumping in chemistry or we're pumping in chemistry, and you've got a hose in the top of the tank of your inductor, and you're splashing chemical everywhere. All of that goes away, and you don't have to worry about rinsing out the inductors, like none of that. All that stuff goes away because it's directly pumped right straight into the line, and the mixing ability is much better because you're pumping it through the line with enough water. They always say dilution is the solution, right? So imagine like when you're pumping, let's say you have, I don't know, use something like Bicep, right? You're putting Bicep in your inductor, and you might be putting 30 gallons in there, and you pull the plug on the inductor and you're sucking all of it in at once. Well, that's a tremendous amount of chemistry that's going in the line that you're not really diluting very well because it's taking majority of it right there, where this system, it's putting it in the line as it goes through. So the dilution of it going into the sprayer is much, much better.
Your lead off on Wayne, fast, simple, safe. And you call the product fast batch. So fast is what you're principally offering as your value proposition to a farmer. And I'd say, why does that matter? But we kind of got into it. A sprayer costs a lot of money, and the faster we can turn it, meaning that it's not sitting, getting filled, the more usable utility we're getting from the sprayer. I think that I've just articulated that, but give it to me from your perspective, from the guy that's the expert with this company product.
Yeah, so I think to understand that the best, you got to understand what most people are doing, which is exactly what Temple had mentioned. So they're taking big cones, usually 2 or 3 of them. They're filling those cones up with all the chemical you want for that batch, and then you're sucking it out, and you're doing one at a time. And that process typically takes 20 to 25 minutes. With our system, because it directly injects, you can inject them all at the same time, it takes about 5 minutes. Right. And so when you look at that ROI calculator, what that translates to into a day is enough time saving that you get 1 more spray load a day. And typically people get about 100 acres out of a spray load. So, in simple terms, you convert from the old way of doing it to this system, you're going to be spraying 100 more acres per day.
Okay. So that's what matters in terms of speed. Now, you and I said something that I thought was interesting. You said it allows you to also run your spray rig slower, which then would improve efficacy or coverage. Temple scoffed, laughed. Temple, why'd you scoff and laugh at that? Because even though it's a neat idea, what do we all know about you farmers?
Man, farmers ain't going to go slower. It's never going to happen. That's a great idea that you got, but it's not going to happen. We're going to run the speed that we're going to run, and which that speed is always going to be maximum, regardless. We're going to be going as hard as we can. Faster for me is the sprayer sits on the headland filling up, and it's like you said, it's 20 to 25 minutes sometimes. Sometimes it's less than that, but for the most part, it's not. If I can save 15 minutes per fill up, and we're filling up, 7 to 10 times a day, you know how many acres that is? Like, that's a lot of acres, not even including most of these sprayers out there. If you were going to rent or lease a sprayer, it's anywhere from $175 to $225 a machine hour. So you're sitting there paying for a machine to sit there and run and not be productive whatsoever. How many hours a day?
Yeah, by the way, I like that. And the thing is, we know that in January, the sprayer is sitting in the shop and it's not making you any money. We know that. But it's like everything. during its useful time frame, which means when the weather is right and it's not too hot and it's not too windy and the crop is the right timing, whether it's the right vegetative or reproductive stage or whatever it is, when it's time to go, those hours are obviously critically important. And then those numbers you just said, if you were renting that machine, how much will I be paying per hour?
Just minimum of $200 an hour.
Yeah. So if I'm paying $200 an hour, it's a hell of a lot of money to have sitting there. Wayne, your company came up with this, and we're going to have our producer, Will, put this up. If you're listening to this when you're driving down the road or in your piece of equipment right now, I encourage you to watch this video. You can watch it at extremeag.farm, where we have all of our Cutting the Curve podcasts, or also on the Cutting the Curve of the podcast on YouTube. Go and check out this video if you're listening, because the folks at Dura Products came up with this chart. I'm holding it up right now, but Wayne, walk me through it in layman's terms here. The big thing I'm seeing is it allows me to get more acres done per day, but your company did a pretty cool thing. You put up here previous sprayer loading system that I'm spending 20 minutes and yours 5 minutes. That's a biggie right there.
Yeah, that's right. So, it's easy to talk about that, but we wanted to kind of put dollars and cents to it to see, does this make sense? Is it worthwhile for someone to kind of invest the money in a system like this? So the way we translated that is we looked at that time savings on average. Again, you're going to save about one sprayer. You're going to end up doing one sprayer load per day. And if you're doing more, like Temple mentioned, you can even do more than that. So if you're looking at that, we've had several farmers tell us they've used our system to go from a 2-man operation to a 1-man operation. So instead of paying someone to sit around on the tender trailer while they're out spraying, they're just doing both because it's so fast. They hop off the sprayer, fill it up, and go. So when you look
By
at
the
that,
way, on that line item, which I like, and I don't know how Temple's doing it, Temple's labor is his kids. So he's kind of like, he doesn't value them. He doesn't even think that their hours matter, but they do. And by the way, Alexander and Little Temple, just in case you're listening to this, I love you. I really do. I don't view you as free help the way your father does.
Yeah. So if
you got to remember, no, go ahead.
If it's what do I got to remember?
No, the other thing that you're not thinking about, like we had 2 sprayer trailers, so you can leave one sprayer in the field. One guy can fill up, get all the work done, get it done really, really fast, and the other guy can get in a tractor trailer and run back up the road and get another load of water or another load of fertility, whatever he's got to do. Like, people aren't sitting around.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
And then you go through a thing, Wayne, on your chart here. Go ahead, continue to explain what your thoughts are on the fast part, and then bringing it back to the economics.
Sure. Yeah. So if you're much faster, then that allows you to do that. So, we calculated out on the labor savings at a $24 an hour rate. You can save about $3,500 a season. So there you go. You can add that to the allowance there, Temple, to your kids. But
that's about what he pays them a year, $3,500. He's right. He pays his kids about $300 a month.
Yeah.
Okay.
I charge them rent to live in the house too.
Right. They owe him. You went through a thing on your calculation, Wayne, and obviously we did the hours. And again, a lot of farmers are guilty, all joking aside, of not counting what hours cost. Well, hours cost something, and obviously hours on machinery cost. I like that. You make a case here that, and this is smart, not just thinking about, okay, if you rented that machine, okay, someone says, well, you know what, I got the machine no matter what. You make the case on your chart here, Wayne, that if I burn less hours on my machine, obviously then my machine either lasts longer or has greater residual value when I'm ready to trade it in. And I'm sure that's something a lot of folks don't think about. Obviously, it's just like some chemistries and whatnot have allowed technologies have allowed us to use less tractor hours to get the same cropping done. That's the case you're making.
That's exactly right. So for this example farm, which is a farmer in Indiana here with 2,400 acres of corn, 2,000 acres of soybeans, he would save 133 hours over the course of 5 years on his machine by using our fill system versus his old system of doing it. And that translates to about $26,600 in value at trade-in that they're saving by having those less machine hours on the machine.
Yep. And then you did a thing, and you said that your total savings in a season, using these numbers, you come up with $46,000. And how long does it take you for an ROI? So essentially, if we're in a tough farm economy right now, and I can save using your numbers, how long does it take for me to justify buying your product?
About half the season. So the product's going to be generally around $20,000 roughly for a farmer, depending on options, and you're saving $46,000.
Temple, this chart addresses the economics. I know that your BS meter goes up when you're a farmer and say, okay, you promised me a lot of stuff there, but bringing it back to the basics that you just said, you don't have guys sitting around. You are filling faster. The machine's moving, which is what it needs to do when it's go time with your sprayers. Go time. Is there anything else on the fast feature that you've seen on the farm?
Well, I mean, that you pretty much covered them for us. I mean, it's a lot of time, a lot of savings for us. And if I can spray another 100 acres in a day, that's huge for us, especially when you get into, like, let's just talk about late season stuff that we do on, like, soybeans, for instance. Sometimes we'll be making a pass, and then 5 or 6 days from now, we're going to need to make one more pass through the same bean field. And if we do that, like, we can. If you're not careful, sometimes you can't hit those periods of influence, those stages where you can actually influence something. So you get your products in, and let's say that you have a bunch of potassium acetate, that you order from Nachurs or wherever, and you have it here, and then you actually don't get the value of hitting that stage at the right crop, the crop at the right stage. How much money does that cost us? How do you even calculate that? But the fact of the matter is at least 100 more acres a day, I can make sure that I hit that window. And I got one more. No, go ahead.
No, speaking of fast, this is the other one, Wayne, since, you're just getting accustomed to how things work around XtremeAg here. One of the kids that Temple doesn't pay was going really fast. And I think, didn't he take a spray boom and wrap it around a telephone pole last season? Am I thinking about this correctly?
Oh yeah, we've done all that. Yeah, we've done all that. The good news is we really know how to weld here at CMF at the shop. Like we're good at it. I mean, we tear up enough stuff. But I got another point. We keep bringing up the farmers. Well, what about the people that are out there, like the commercial applicators? There's a ton of commercial applicators out there that look how much time and savings that this can save them in a day. A lot of these guys, they're charging anywhere, at least in my area, to have something commercially applicated for you is somewhere between $12 and $15 an acre. That's what it costs us. Yep. So if he can put in another 100 acres a day, that's another $1,500 a day that guy can make. Like, this would be a no-brainer for him. I mean, you're talking about what? 13 days, 14 days at the max, and he's paid this system off. This is an absolute home run for those guys.
Do you have commercial applicators as a part of your customer base at Dura Products? You probably do, right, Wayne?
We do. We sure do. Yeah. Yep. So there's lots of commercial applicators that do it. And like you said, they get paid per the acre, not per the hour, right? So the faster they can do it, the more money they can make. So it's
all right. We've addressed the fast. Do me a favor and address the other two value propositions that you present to the farmer or to the commercial applicator: simple and safe. Simple. Temple already talked about the fact that he's not getting stuff splattered all over him, and he plugs it right in. Is there anything that we missed on simple?
Yeah, I think simple is just that, it's as simple as punching in what you want to load of each chemical. So, in your recipe on the fill tank, I'm going to have so many gallons of one chemical, so many gallons of the other, based on how many ounces per acre you want to do. You just punch that in and press start. There's no touch screen or recipe management. There's no real complicated technology to work. It works very similarly to the standard pumps and meters that Dura Products makes. You just really got to know the order of operations, and you're good to go. Temple could probably speak to that a lot more than I could, as he's using.
Yeah, I mean, once your power's on and you have your, you can start all the pumps at once if you'd like to. Say if you've got, on my trailer right now, I've got it hooked to 4 different totes right now at the moment, and I can press them all, start at the same time, and they can all run. Or if I have an order where, let's say glyphosate needs to go in first, and then I need to put in, 2,4-D or whatever, and I have an order, you can actually hit start, wait for it to finish, hit start again. Like, you can do that as well, or you can hit them all at the same time. I mean, I got to be honest with you, I hit start all at the same time because there's so much dilution that's going through a 3-inch line that I really don't necessarily worry about it. It's been really, really fast, really, really safe for me. I think that it's a home run. It's all built with an inductor already right on it. So your small stuff that might be in, jugs, 2.5 gallon jugs or 1 gallon jugs. They got a really neat little knife system that's inside there, and it's hooked to your rinse out, so you can rinse the jugs right out and get everything out of your jugs and run right through your inductor that's on there. It's just they don't need a giant inductor like we have. We had 80, 90 pound inductors. They don't need to have an inductor that big because they're not putting in that much chemistry. Your larger quantity chemistry is all going through this machine. Like it saved me on a lot of things. It saved me room on my trailer. I don't have a bunch of wires run all over the place, because keep in mind, like, I got 4 totes on there right now. I would have 4 motors hanging off of every tote. Each one of them would have to go, a hot wire and a ground wire have to go up to a central location. We don't have any of that anymore. It's all on one piece. Like it has battery, you have a battery right there on this unit, and it even has like a little solar panel, and it keeps your battery, charged up. It's a trickle charger on there. Like they have figured out everything on this thing to make it as simple for the farmer or the commercial applicator as possible for little to no downtime whatsoever. It's a pretty seamless system.
I think we can leave it right there, can't we, Wayne? He went through everything, and he's the guy that's been using it. All of our guys are using the Fast Batch Multi-Jet or Fast Batch Venturi this year, so stay tuned. We'll probably show you some stuff from some of the field days. Speaking of field days, we've got a bunch of them. May 22nd is our first one at Chad Henderson's. June 12th, we're going to be in Arkansas at McGee, Arkansas at Miles Farms. June 26th, we're going to be over at Garrett's in Iowa. Then we get into August 5th at Johnny Varell's, August 7th at Matthews Farms, North Carolina. August 15th or 16th, we're not exactly sure yet. We're going to be up in Canada, north of the border, assuming that somehow they don't charge us all 25% to cross the border. And then they're also going to be, our last field day of the year is Chestnut Manor Farms. That's where Temple Rhodes resides and exploits his children. And that's going to be on August 21st. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, you know what? Do share it with somebody, and also you should really consider becoming an XtremeAg member. You don't have to be a member to come to our field days. You don't have to be a member to watch all of our stuff, but for $750 a year, you become a member. You get direct access to guys like Temple. You can call them up directly and get answers to your questions. You also get year-end data and also special offers from our business partners. Anyway, Wayne, thanks for being here, man. Thanks for having me. Enjoyed it. Little old Attica, Indiana. No, wait, what's the town? It's Arcadia, Indiana. Arcadia, Indiana. Small town, Indiana. I'm so glad we've got a business partner with Hoosier roots. You know what? Great things come out of the Hoosier state. Speaking of which, the Granary Show that is produced by XtremeAg shot at my farm just about an hour and 20 minutes away from Arcadia, Indiana, in Huntington, Indiana. Go check that out. We've been shooting the Granary. My friend Temple's been there. It's real farmers, real talk. Pull up a chair and join the conversation. It's a lot of fun. You can find those episodes at xtremeag.farm or at our YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to that. Wayne, thanks for being here. The company's called Dura Products. If I want to learn more about the Fast Batch system to improve my spraying and make it faster, simpler, and safer, where do I go? Go to duraproducts.com. Everything you need is right there. Duraproducts.com, and do check out that graph that we put up there. It really does map out the thing. Until next time, he's Wayne Stewart with Dura Products, joined by Temple Rhodes with XtremeAg and Chestnut Manor Farms. I'm Damian Mason, and this is XtremeAg's Cutting the Curve. That's a wrap for this episode of XtremeAg's Cutting the Curve podcast. Make sure to check out xtremeag.com for more great content. Cutting the Curve is powered by Nachurs Bio-K. Check out nachurs.com to learn more about how Bio-K can improve your farm's ROI.